this young man is sort of carrying on the tradition of the musical family, when you think about it, because his dad, Bob Montgomery, is a big Nashville producer. His mom sang a lot of backup vocals, Elvis Presley records, for example, Suspicious Minds and Kentucky Rain. And this first album, and I would expect no less, he wrote or co-wrote most of the songs on it, and his mom is doing some backup vocals on his particular album.
A real family affair.
Yeah.
What's interesting, though, instead of really resting on his mom and dad's coattails, what he is doing is he went to New York and he went to L.A. to make a name for himself. He even played in the subway stations in New York, just to see what the initial reaction of people in New York City would be to his music. And you know what? They seem to really like it.
We've got to find out about that.
The album is called Fear Nothing, and I'm sure you've seen the video on CMT and TNN. It's called Red-Blooded American Boy. This is Kevin Montgomery.
Why don't you Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Really nice to meet you. Now, I've got a question for you. The album is titled Fear Nothing, and I'm wondering, is that a message to yourself as you launch into the music business?
Definitely.
Is it? Okay. Now, what are you fearing? Maybe you know more than other people to fear because your mom and dad are in the business.
I fear nothing. No, you know, just I want to keep my head on straight, and I want to do the right things, and just make the right moves.
Well, now, a moment ago, we included in your introduction that you tried out new material in the subway areas up in New York. And every time I've been to New York, you see these bands or singers out in public. You have to get a permit to do that?
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to.
I didn't, but don't tell anybody.
Well, tell me if I play into a subway crowd. These are people just rushing through, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, it's really great because I got to see immediate reaction to the songs I was writing. You know, you could kind of see the effect it was having on people, and that was kind of neat.
Well, how much influence do your mom and dad have on your songwriting and the way that your records are produced? Any at all?
Well, not as far as actually, like, having anything to do with that, but, I mean, it was a very strong influence growing up. I was around songwriters all the time, you know, and I grew up around music from the time I was a little kid, you know. I can remember my dad coming in with new stuff they'd just done, and I was asking him what different instruments were and all that kind of stuff when I was like 4 years old.
So an early interest there. Now, I know you were in California recently. Were you there for the quake?
Yes.
Oh.
Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's okay in my apartment, but some things fell over. It was interesting because I woke up to I was pleasantly awakened to a gunshot. And so I ran to the phone. I could hear all my neighbors jumping up, and I called 911, and I was on the phone with them, and the earthquake started, and it was like, I forgot about the gunshot. When the earthquake started, I just worried about keeping my balance and getting into a door jam.
So you still don't know to this day what the gunshot was?
No, I mean, I'm sure that guy will never shoot a gun again. I mean,
What's what he did? You know, it started the earthquake.
Exactly. It happened about 30 seconds before, and I'm sure he thought God's wrath was coming down on him. I felt like God's wrath was coming down on me for, you know, listening to the gunshot.
Well, nevertheless, here's a man who fears nothing, according to the optimist in the music business. Kevin, thanks for coming on today, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Some road dates we'd like you to see where Kevin is going in the days ahead, and take a look at those, and plan to buy a ticket and stop in and listen to his music. Really great to meet you.
Thank you, Kevin. Nice performance here on the show tonight. We have another song from David Allan Coe when we return.
First, though,